So get yourself set up. One cue for this block that goes underneath your heart is to put it so that the lower edge is right where your bra strap would go. I don't know if that works for you. And we want to make it so that it's not so much about stretching out your neck and going very far back with your neck, but if that feels good, it's really about opening up your chest. So when you get settled, just breathe into this. Your legs, your knees can be together and your feet can be out wide at the edge of your mat. That's one way to have your legs. Supta Baddha Konasana leg is another option, or just straight out, almost like you're in a Shavasana leg. So just do with your legs what is most comfortable. The point is we're trying to drape our chest across this block and get our shoulders really opened up. And then fiddle around maybe with a top block, see if you get more opening if you go onto a lower setting. If that's still comfortable for your neck, we don't want to strain your neck. And just breathe into this. And we'll be here for a few minutes, so just maybe set an intention for your practice today. Could be ease or joy. Or maybe there's somebody who's on your mind that you would just like to keep in mind during your practice and wish them well. Whatever it is, set an intention and maybe meditate on that. And as your mind wanders, just pull it back to that thought, that mantra. Maybe create a little saying that you can repeat and breathe. Deepen your breath. And if you haven't already, start your Ujjayi breathing. Try to wrap your shoulders in a deeper wrap around that block. See if there's more shoulder opening and chest opening. Bring some movement to your fingers and toes, and slowly make your way up on your elbows and gently come out of this. Maybe rolling over onto your side is a better way of coming out of this. However it is, just come out very gently, not straining anything, and coming up to a seated position on your mat. Eyes closed, hands at heart. And breathe in, extend the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. We'll begin practice with the sound of one Om. Breathe in and out. Breathe in. Blink open your eyes and look up and bring your chin to your chest. Look up, chin to chest, still sitting up real tall. Look up again, chin to chest. Left ear to left shoulder. Right ear to right shoulder. Left ear to left shoulder. Really keep your shoulders down your back. Right ear, right shoulder. One more time, left ear, left shoulder. And right ear, right shoulder. Now bring it all together, chin to chest, exhale. Inhale as you come around, really accentuating this, going around with your neck, working out the kinks in your neck if you've got any. Breathe in as you look up, come around and down. Exhale. Inhale as you look up, and exhale as you come around and reverse. Go in the opposite direction. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. Place your left hand on the mat right beside your left hip. Extend your right arm straight up. Look up at your thumb, bending your left elbow, hinge over with your waist towards the left. Big side body stretch. Hold here for an inhale, an exhale. Inhale, look up. Place your right hand right along your right hip. Extend your left arm up and hinge over, hinging at the waist. And breathe in and out. Inhale, look up, extend both of your hands up and fold forward. Place your hands on the mat in front of you, hinging at the waist, drawing your shoulders down your back, and breathe in and out. On an inhale, extend. On an exhale, fold deeper. And the point is you're bringing your lower back towards the floor. You're not hunched over. So your shoulders are down your back and you're just hinging at the waist. Breathe in, extend. Exhale, fold deeper. Inhale, extend. Exhale, fold deeper. Inhale, extend, and fold deeper. Slowly tiptoe your fingers back and extend your hands out in front of you. We're going to open and close our hands 30 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Stretch your hands up, grasp your hands together, reverse them. Place your hands on the mat, Fingertips facing one another. Stretching out your wrist. See if you can get your fingers facing your body and stretch your wrist. Good. Come up to a tabletop position. Do a couple cat-cows. Cow, inhale, cat, exhale. Your toes can be tucked or flat on the mat. Just make sure your alignment is good, everything is stacked. As you really swivel your hips back and forth with your breath. We're going to thread the needle. So I want you to extend your right hand up to the ceiling. See if you can look up at your thumb. Try to keep your body in alignment so you're not sending your hips over to the right with your hand. Keep them straight. And now thread your right arm through your left and try to bring your right ear to the mat. See if you can get your shoulder on the mat. I can't, but I can get close. So we're going to breathe here and see if you can sink further into this. Breathe and sink into this. Slowly come out of this and extend that arm back up to the ceiling, looking at your hips, and bring it back down to the mat. Breathe, cat and cow a couple times with your breath. Now extend your left arm up to the ceiling. Look at your hips. Are they jutting out? Look up. See if you can look up at that thumb. And now slowly thread it through your right arm and come down on your left ear. See how this side feels different. Maybe it feels different than the right. Maybe not. Try to get your shoulder onto the mat. Try to see if you can get your ear on the mat. And just like on the right side, I can't, but we're going to breathe into this and see if we can sink deeper into it. And slowly make your way back up. Come into a couple cat-cows. Place your fingers, maybe move your hands up your mat just slightly and come up onto tuck your toes and raise your knees up off the mat just 2 inches. Engage your abdominals. Hold it here. Plug your shoulders into their sockets. Breathe. And now go into your first down dog of the day. Change your feet, however, maybe step them back a little bit and pedal out your feet. Breathing. Maybe you want to make your hands a little wider on the mat today, and maybe make your feet a little wider. Take your feet out to the edge of the mat and see sort of a wide downward facing dog. See how that feels different. And turn your toes to the left side of your mat and bend your knees a lot. A big side body stretch. Come back up, come up on your tippy toes, and now point them to the right side of your mat. Big side body stretch. Come up on your toes. Sink your heels. Come up on your toes. Sink your heels. Walk your hands back to your feet. So we're going in the opposite direction that we usually do. Bring your feet hip width distance apart, maybe come right up onto your fingertips for a forward fold. Extend your head down, grasp opposite elbow in ragdoll, and just allow your head to bob, maybe waving back and forth, yes and no, and sink here. See if you can bring a little bend to your knees. Get your sacrum up towards the ceiling and sink. Allow the weight of your head to draw your torso closer down. Breathe in and out. Put your hands on the mat, halfway lift, straight back, fold. Mountain pose, look up. Really extend up. Bring some bend to your knee and fold down. Halfway lift. Now walk your hands back to the top of your mat. Walk them forward, and come into a plank pose. Plug your shoulders in, strong. Breathe here. Engage your abdominals, lower down halfway, and come up to upward facing dog. Come through your arms. Look straight ahead or look up. And using your abdominals, pull back into a downward facing dog slowly and breathe. Come up on your toes. Now tiptoe forward to the top of your mat. Lots of little teeny steps, maybe 8 or 9. Come up on your fingertips as your toes approach. Stay high on your toes. See if you can come into a halfway lift on your toes and fold down. And see if you can come up to a mountain pose. There you are. And fold down. Halfway lift. Hands to mat and tiptoe back to high plank. Roll forward, high plank. Stay here. Notice your shoulders. Roll forward a little bit, lower down halfway. Come up to upward facing dog. See if you can bring your thighs up off the mat. But if that's too much, leave your knees on the mat and roll back to downward facing dog, maybe through tabletop or straight back down to downward facing dog, and breathe. Now listen, what we're going to do now is come high on our toes. We're going to empty out completely as we bend our knees. And your choice, walk, step, or float to the top of the mat. If you're floating, try to do it quietly. Halfway lift, fold down. Inhale, mountain pose, look up. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, halfway lift. Step back to high plank. Pause here. Notice your alignment. Roll forward, lower down halfway. Upward facing dog, and roll back to downward facing dog. Breathe. One more breath. Step your right foot forward into crescent lunge. So take a moment, move your feet so that they're hip width distance apart. That will help in the balance. Come up slowly, parallel your arms to the mat, and come up into crescent. Maybe starting with cactus arms. Notice if you're on your back toes. You want your heel to be over your toes. You want your front leg to be bent. Maybe you can scooch your toes forward a little bit because we want to sink into this. Come up so that your triceps are wrapping around your ears. And breathe here. See if you can use your muscles to move into airplane. So we're slowly going up. If you fall out, just come back into it. Get your pinkies drawing towards one another behind your back, a slight up dog in your chest. Look at your alignment. Your hips should be parallel. You're stamping the wall behind you with your foot. Gently step back to crescent lunge. Make any adjustment with your feet that you need to. Sometimes stepping back, at least in my case, I step a little closer and breathe. Bring your hands to your chest in prayer and twist to the right. It can be an open twist, so your arms are extending to either wall, or you can hook your left elbow around your right knee. Stack your shoulders. Draw the crown of your head towards the wall in front of you and lift your belly up off your thigh. Extend and twist on the exhale. Extend and twist on the exhale. Come out of it, come back into crescent lunge, hands to mat. Step your right foot back, come into downward facing dog. Breathe. Extend your right foot behind you, stamping the wall. Come up on your toes, on your left toes. Bend that knee at 90 degrees, your right knee, and now fan open your hips. Notice how you're set up. So you want to get your hips on top of one another, but your hands equally on the mat. Breathe here, breathe, and bring that foot down. Pedal out your feet a little bit, and breathe in and out. If your breath has gotten ragged, breathe in and Step your left foot between your hands for a crescent lunge on this side. Notice, get your feet hip width distance and come up slowly. Maybe parallel your arms and then come into cactus. Notice your stance. Can you get deeper? Can you scoot your toes forward a little bit? Come high on your back toes. Notice your arms, are they down your back, your shoulder blades down your back as you bring them up and your triceps wrap around your ears. Breathe here and sink. And let's try to go into airplane from crescent on this side. So use your muscles. Don't just hoist yourself there. See if you can actually use your muscles. Get set up and breathe into this. Stamp the wall behind you. Up dog in your chest. Breathe. Bring some bend to your standing leg. And gently step back quietly, back into crescent. Make any adjustment you need to. Bring your hands to heart and twist left. So however you did it on the right side, do it the same on the left. Breathe and extend. Come back up to crescent. Hands to the mat. Step your left foot back into downward facing dog. Take some breaths. Stamp the wall behind you with your left foot now. Really engage, flex those toes. Bend your knee, your left knee at 90 degrees, and fan open your hips. Come high on your right toes. Breathe. Place that foot on the mat behind you. And again, take a couple deep breaths. Come high on your toes. Breathe in. Exhale completely as you bend your knees to float, step, or walk to the top of your mat. Come right into chair pose. So just like we did last night, maybe take a block and bring that between your thighs to draw your thighs together. Can you see your toes? Good. Cactus your arms and sink. When you're ready, bring your arms up overhead for full chair and sink. Remove your block. Bring your hands to heart. Stay in this sunk position and twist right. See if your knees are parallel with one another. Feel all four corners of your feet in the mat. That's your strength. And you're sinking your hips down. Maybe you open your arms as you twist. And fold forward. Place your feet at hip width distance apart and grab your big toes with your thumb and forefinger. For Yogi Toe Lock, sink your head down, allow it to sway. Yes. No. And draw your crown of your head towards the mat, maybe using your fingers to pull you down a little bit more and get your sacrum up a little bit more. Breathe. Halfway lift. Fold. Come up into chair pose again. We're going to come right back into it, maybe with your block. Look down. Can you see your toes? Sink. Breathe. Sometimes I like to bring I knew it was going to happen, my toes up off the mat. And we're going to twist left this time. So remove your block, bring your hands to prayer, and twist left. Stacking your shoulders, sinking your hips down, drawing your belly off your thigh. Twist. Open your arms if it's there for you. And come back to chair and fold down. Do gorilla pose, which is placing the palms of your hands underneath the soles of your feet. Your toes might reach your wrist creased. Give you a little massage there. Wiggle your toes. And again, sway back and forth. Try to straighten your legs and get your sacrum up to the ceiling. Come out of this and come right into yogi squat. So your toes are pointing to the opposite corners of your mat, just like last night. Straight back, crown of your head is going up to the ceiling. And you're really pressing your knees away with your elbows. So it's a stretch. Breathe. And this is sort of the sister pose to stand up and come into goddess. So a goddess is, I don't know, kind of a standing variation of yogi squat. So our toes are pointing, my toes are pointing to the back left corner and the front left, or the top left corner. Look down at your knees. Make sure they're not sinking in. So your knees are open, they're right over your ankles. And you want to go as low as you can. So if your knees are extending over your ankle, you always want your knees kind of on top of your ankle. So adjust your feet as you need to and come up to cactus arms. And maybe you can sink a little deeper into this. Breathing, straighten your back. Your shoulders are really going down your back. And come out of it. Good job. Point your right toe to the front of your mat and come into a warrior two. So my back foot is 90 degrees, blade edge is digging into the mat. And I'm extending forward, bending over. See if your arms are really parallel with one another. Breathe in here, sink deeper. Breathe and sink. Now straighten your front leg. Hinge forward to come into triangle pose. You can use a block if that's handy. My hand goes right on my shin. Again, we're stacking our shoulders. Look up at your top thumb. Come up out of this. Bend your front leg. Step your left leg halfway up the mat. Both toes are pointed forward at 12 o'clock. Bring your arms up overhead and fold forward for pyramid pose. I use a block. I grab a block, which is placed right in front of my right foot. And I'm trying to draw my right hip back and my left hip forward. And I'm bending into this. So for me, I feel this in my right hamstring. And bend and fold. You can unlock your knees and fold. Extend and fold. Place the block alongside of your right foot. Left hand goes on the block, right arm goes up to the ceiling for twisting triangle. Try to draw the tops of your thighs together as you breathe into this. And again, on the inhale, you're extending. On the exhale, you're twisting. And come out of this. Let's do warrior two on the other side. So left foot forward, right foot back. Get your block ready because we'll be using it here in a moment. And really sink into this. Get your legs so that they are as deep into a warrior as you can get, and then extend your arms in opposite directions, parallel with one another, and really stretch your arms out. Your pelvis is neutral, and breathe. Sink. Straighten your front leg, hinge forward at the waist, and come to triangle on this side. My hand is on my shin, but it can be on a block. Some people even float their hand. They kind of do a triangle like this. That's a little bit more of a abdominal puzzle. Breathe. Come up out of it. Step your right foot forward about halfway. Both toes are facing 12 o'clock. Bring your arms up overhead and fold over your left foot, maybe grabbing a block for pyramid. Place that block alongside the inside of your left foot. Right hand goes on the block, left hand extends up overhead. Draw your upper thighs together, twisting for twisting triangle. Look up at your thumb if you can, and draw the crown of your head towards the front of the room or the wall that your head is facing. Breathe. And slowly make your way out of this. Good job. Keep your block handy because we're gonna do a little bit of balancing. We're gonna use our block for half moon. My personal favorite. Everybody's got their favorites, right? I'd like to know what your favorite poses are. Maybe you can tell me when we're done this. So let's bring our right knee up to hip height. Open it up to the right. Extend your left arm over to the left. Gaze over that left thumb. Breathe. Bring some bend into your standing leg, and then maybe straighten it. And do this little bend, straighten deal. Really gets us into the muscles of our leg. Bring that bent knee forward again. And let's go into warrior 3. So extend your arms out in front of you and your leg out, your right leg behind you. Stamp the wall, breathe into this. And I put that right foot on the mat. Grab your block, and we're going to go into half moon on the right. So right foot down, left foot up. My block goes up on the highest setting, and it's right under my shoulder. So this is important. You don't want it too far ahead, and you don't want it too far behind. Right under your shoulder. And come up, raise your left leg up. It is now pointing towards the side wall. So your flexed toes are not pointing down, they're pointing towards the side because this is actually a hip opener. And we're trying to stack our hips and we're trying to stack our shoulders. If it's there for you, try to float your hand. Maybe for a second, maybe you grab the block again. And another variation is grabbing your ankle, bending your knee and grabbing your raised ankle. So that's just another variation, but you still are trying to stack your hips. Come out of this. I need to get a drink. And let's move into half moon on the other side. So left leg down, place your block right underneath your shoulder on this side and just slowly move up into this. And see how you can make your way to your fullest extension. Maybe bend your standing leg a little bit and straighten it. Look down, are your toes at 12 o'clock? Float your hand for a moment. and come out of it. Good job. And we're going to do, because we were doing those shoulder openers with heart bench, we're going to do a variation of dancer where we're going to grab our ankle with both hands. So bring your knees together and grab your right ankle with both your left hand and your right hand. Apparently I need to. And in this doing dancer this way, I think it really gets your shoulder blades down your back. It really opens your chest and makes sure that your shoulders are parallel as you hinge forward. And you've got both hands to kind of really pull that ankle back. Hinge and open your chest. And come out of it. And let's do that on the other side. If this dancer is too intense, do the dancer, with one with your right arm raised and grabbing with your left hand. But for me, I'm really playing with this because it seems like I get a deeper chest opening, which is what I'm after. Hinge and bend and try to bring your ankle up a little higher behind you and step out of it. I've got a lot of work to do on that one. So let's just do a tree for a moment. Your tree, whatever it is, it can be kickstand, foot on your shin, or right up into your thigh. Wherever your foot is, really press your foot into your leg. Any hand variation, but notice your alignment. Is everything stacked? Is your hip jutting out? Drishti, gaze, breathe. Again, maybe do that little bend action in the standing leg, and then straighten up, bend a little bit. And step down. And tree on the other side. Whatever you did on the right, do on the left. And come out of it. And make your way to a seated position. We are going to actually come onto our backs. Bring your knees up at 90 degrees. Grasp your head with your hands and extend your elbows out wide. We're going to do some bicycles. And the point for bicycle is your shoulder goes to your knee, not your knee to your shoulder. And then you extend the opposite leg out straight. Don't go fast, go slow, and really concentrate on using your abdominal muscles and not your lower back. So it is a bit of a crunch, but we want to use our abs to move our shoulder forward, okay? So we're just going to do 10, which if you count a different way would be 20 because we're going to do 10 on each side, okay? So I will count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Feet to mat. Good job. How are we doing on time? Let's rock and roll forward. And we're going to just come right up into, going to do that camel that we did last night. We're going to do one of those. So your hands are in your pockets and draw your shoulders together. So again, another chest opener, and that bar is going right across your lower back, up and over that bar, the middle of your chest, up to the ceiling. And breathe. If you can look up at the ceiling, good. Up and over. Good. Come down, do a couple cat-cows. And now come back onto your back and come up into supported bridge or bridge, your choice. Or if wheels in your practice, go for that. We'll do 3 of these. Pop right up. You know all the cues. Breathe in and out. 3 more breaths. And lower down. Take a breath in and out. Come right back up. Pop right up. Unclench your butt if it's clenched. Draw your thighs together. 3 more breaths. And lower down. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out and pop right up. 4 breaths. Lower down, Supta Baddha Konasana, your feet, palms, your soles of your feet together, one hand at your heart, one hand at your belly. Notice your breath. Bring your knees together and place your right ankle on your left knee for figure 4. Grasp your left thigh with your hands and press your knee away with your right elbow. If it's comfortable, bring your head up off the mat or lay it down. It doesn't matter. Either way, this is a hip opener. So breathe into this, push away with your right elbow on your right knee and draw your thigh closer towards you. Make sure your back is on your mat and breathe into this. Two more breaths. And switch. Left ankle on your right knee. Grasp your right thigh. Push away with your left elbow on your left knee. and draw that thigh closer towards you. Breathe. Three more breaths. One more breath. And come out of it. Good job. Rock and roll to a seated position. I like to rock and roll a couple times because it makes my back feel good. But come to your legs are straight out in front of you, arms up, look up, and fold forward. Grab the soles of your feet with your palms, bend your knees enough, and draw your lower back towards your ankles. Plug your shoulders in and your shoulder blades down your back, and breathe into this. On the inhale, extend. On the exhale, sink and fold. Come back up to a seated position and bring your right foot to the outside of your left knee for Lord of the Fishes. Sit up tall. Place your left elbow on the outside of your right knee, palms, fingers facing the ceiling, and your right hand goes behind you. Look forward, breathe, and slowly on the exhale, start turning towards the right. Straight back. Come out of it. Place that right foot on the inside of your thigh now. Place your right hand behind you, just where it was, and come up on your left toes. Lift your left arm to an extended position up overhead for a modified wild thing. Stretch and come down. Extend your right foot leg out in front of you. Bring your left foot over that leg, and now bring your right elbow on the outside of your left knee for Lord of the Fish on this side. And just slowly, with breath, start turning to look at the wall behind you. Inhale, extend, exhale, twist. And come out of this, place your left foot on the inside of your right thigh. Your left hand is just where it was, and come up on your right toes and bring your right arm up overhead and extend it for this variation of wild thing. Breathe. And come out of it. Grab your block and come up into waterfall. Popping it up. Legs up overhead. Open your toes. Let them wave at you. Return to your intention. Maybe it was wishing someone well. Maybe it was wishing yourself well. Try to get your ankles right over your knees and your knees over your hips for this rejuvenation. And come out of it. Remove your block. Extend your legs long. Do an early morning, first of the day stretch. Really extend your arms overhead, your toes, maybe even pointing your toes. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Now, bring your right knee into your chest and over to the left for supine twist. Extend your right arm long and look at your right thumb. Breathe, stack your hips. And extend your right leg and do the other side. Bring your left knee into your chest, draw it over, extend your left arm out long, look over your left thumb, stack your hips. Breathe. Now bring your both knees into your chest. Bring your forehead to your knees, scrunch up into a little ball. Scrunch, scrunch, and extend out for Shavasana. Feel gratitude that you made it to your mat. You did it again. Palms face the ceiling to receive and rest. Return to your natural breath. Bring some movement to your fingers and toes and roll onto your side, cradling your head with your arm into a fetal position and take some breaths here. And when you're ready, move up into a comfortable seated position with your eyes closed. Bring your hands to your heart in prayer and breathe. Extend the crown of your head up to the ceiling. Your spine is long. We'll end practice with the way we began, with the sound of one O. Breathe in and out. Breathe in. Bring your thumb knuckles to your forehead. Look up. The light in me honors the light in you. We bow together and say, Namaste. Namaste.